3 days. And if I would have waited probably another day, there's a good chance that that would have been a true statement. So
Yeah,
watch yourselves, boys.
well, we are glad are okay, and that was a little bit of a scare. You had us worried a little bit. We are definitely glad that you are on the mend, and you know you should probably be in bed right now trying to rest. But
I've been in bed for 3 days, man.
Well, I guess okay, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense.
Sitting up is just being in bed, but in a different position.
Well, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And I will say this to you: if I don't want to be on the podcast, I'm not going to fake my death or anything. I'll just I'll just say so.
That works. That works. So Keith, yeah, you had an eventful day, man. You actually went to Ashburn. Were you the only fan ambassador that was invited to Ashburn? That's awesome, man. Tell us about that.
Well, I do know that some of the other ambassador leaders, I believe, were, and they may have done it last week, or some couldn't do it due to work. But I was the only fan ambassador there today, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know, man. I took the 3-hour drive. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. The interview wasn't that long that I did with the social media content team. But this was an interview for the leaders of the program. Basically just talking about my fanship, how it all began. This interview really gave me a huge opportunity to talk about my dad, and I used that opportunity to do so. I just basically related everything as to why I'm a fan is because of him. Also mentioned Doug Williams. I mean, there were some memorable moments as to why I remember why my dad was so excited, back in 87, watching the Super Bowl and just, bits and pieces of that. But I didn't want to talk about me. I wanted to talk about my dad. And I was able to do that. And I was able to do that inside their home office. So it was almost like, yeah, it was almost like bittersweet, like, man, if this wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today type of deal. And they respected that. They loved it. I felt like I was boring, to be honest, because I was very monotone. But, people got to remember, they walked me, well, not remember, but I'll kind of set the scene. But, you got to jump through hoops just to get in. You got to go through a gate. They call the person that you're supposed to be meeting with. The gate opens. They let you in.
Let me ask you this. Do they have a door too?
They have several doors.
Fucking security is tight.
Crazy tight. And so, I pull into the parking lot. Then I go through the front door, and homie at the front door is like, nah, bro, you got to go and get COVID tests. And I'm like, oh shit, I've never had one of those. So he showed me where to go. And it was basically the same trailer that next to the bubble where the players have to get their testing, and they get it done every day. I was in there reading signs. It was crazy. Like they're pretty serious.
So you were standing right where Chase Young stands to get his COVID test on a daily basis.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I would have taken pictures like, oh God, Chase Young was standing right here. Oh, Montez Sweat was probably standing right here. I'd probably rubbed the table, get some sweat off him.
Yeah,
he was reading signs. He was standing in front of the door going, exit only.
They did have a sign-in sheet there, and I was kind of scoping the sign-in sheet, and I hope that those signatures weren't of players, because that was some shit. Excuse me. That was some chicken scratch signatures.
Some shitty skid. I can't even fucking talk.
They have to do it every day. They just
signatures.
Yeah. Right. No, but I was trying to see who was there, because there was some exquisite fine vehicles that you and I, could never afford. But
what are you trying to say here, man? Come on.
Well, listen,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're all broke a-holes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So, I'm not broke, but I ain't rich, and I'm not in those leagues.
Right, exactly. So finally I had to wait 30 minutes. So she's like, you can either wait in here or go in your car. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna go in the car because I got a little bit of twittering to do. So I did that, and then, like I said, finally I got the results. I was able to get in, met with Zach, and they immediately took me into their media room, and it's
Zach Selby. You met with Zach Selby?
Zach Selby, yes, sir.
Cool.
Look, man.
Cool.
Jesse said, "Look, I'll be right back." He went out in his car. So what's the fuck's up with cherry tomatoes? It must be a dick if you like cherry tomatoes. All right, I'll be right in.
Yeah, going back to trolling. I need to troll real quick before I go in the building.
Is an ice cream sandwich a really sandwich? You must be a dick if you think so.
Oh, that's a little story in itself too. But so I get in their little media room. It's tight, man, but it's like it was tight to walk around, but it was pretty cool. Like they had the backdrop, they were all set up and ready to go for me. So literally sat down. They asked me questions about me. Like I said, it was an opportunity for me to talk about my dad, which is what it did. And also included myself and so on. And then after that, Zach's like, well, hey, before you leave, just follow me real quick. And so I started following him, and he takes me right to Jason Wright's office.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
And I mean, listen, that door was locked. I don't know what Jason was doing in there.
Heavy duty business is what he's doing.
He was doing business, and that door needed to be locked. But no, all jokes aside, we came in. Listen, Jason, I don't care what anyone says, he's doing his job. That's what he's supposed to be doing. What's going on, Brandon?
How you doing?
Good. I'm just finishing up my Ashburn story.
Yes, sir.
So good to have you on. So anyways, so I literally, like, he has 2 giant couches. There's this giant TV. Then he's got 2 little TVs. Then there's another TV. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like, none of your TVs are on. 2 giant couches. He's got a Pepsi machine in this office, grabbing his drinks. And he literally just comes and he's chilling, sits on the couch. So I sit on his little chairs, and man, we just started talking. And, the cool thing about him is he is such a real guy, right? He let his guard down. He didn't have to be team president, professional. He could be himself. But he's a very easy person to talk to. Like, I was legitimately more nervous about doing the interview than I was actually sitting down and talking to him. And basically the conversations that we had, he, gave me his perspective of how cool, it was. Cause we were talking about it. I said, listen, I never would have thought I'd ever, be here. And he's like, well, I'm glad you're here. And, he started talking about, his player, as a player, his history and how things were so cutthroat. He was basically giving me his perspective of how football in itself has, shaped his life. He literally looks at his position as, hey, I'm just a normal dude, but with a cool job, and
That's good.
Yeah, 100%. And so I got the opportunity to kind of talk with him and give my, experience, as a fan, type of deal. And it was just really cool dialogue going back and forth. And, he got up, he had a meeting that he had to get into, but, the end, like, we had this little awkward hug at the end, he gives, the old bro, it started with a bro hug, right? So, it's one of those, you got to watch YouTube, by the way, if you want to see how this bro hug goes. But so it's kind of like, the whole man, bring you in to give you that quick pat on the back to be like,
right.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I give hugs, man. I'm a lover. So I swing both the arms around, right? And I just grabbed his old muscly back. This is going to sound so crazy, but no.
It sounds exactly like it sounds.
And it happened exactly how I'm describing it. So I, give him a hug.
Did you perhaps feel a bulge in the front?
Listeners, if you guys are just listening to this podcast, please go to YouTube and watch this afterwards.
No comment. Listen, no joke though. Like, the hug, like, this is going to sound corny or maybe stupid. The hug alone spoke volumes. Listen, this guy, like, he hugged me like we were family. And I think
That's
that
cool.
that was my whole point, besides making the jokes, is he literally treated me like family. We did talk about the team name change. I was able to get a lot off my chest too.
I was going to ask you. You did tell him to make sure that he changed the name to the Red Wolves, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I did
you
not.
have to. The army's
sir.
out there.
No,
I'm just kidding.
not interested.
I'll tell you what I heard, Jesse, is
Spam
why
calling.
Jason keeps.
Spam.
Yeah.
Assholes. Go ahead.
What I just heard in that story is why he keeps his door locked during the day.
Well, I have no comment. No, but like I said, truthfully, that's the way it was. Guy hugged me like I was family. That's
cool, man.
That's
Jason Wright,
Yep.
Of all the interaction that he's had with us fans on Twitter, he's DM'd me before, and he seems genuine. Now, I was reading, obviously this is on Twitter, and someone actually said that they think that Jason Wright has some fakeness to him, and I held back a little bit, but I was like, dude, he seems like the realest person like that we've ever had in this franchise.
People project.
You know why it comes off that way? Because
I don't see it. I don't see that it comes off that way.
In the public eye, he has to be professional. He has to approach things the same way. He has to stay consistent. He's not, he can't bring out the personal Jason, which could tend to be different. We're all like that. We're all different. When we go to work, I'm not saying half the stuff that I say on here to my boss.
Of course.
Right.
Half?
Right.
That's pretty much.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, it's going to come off that way, but literally you do get a one-on-one. And even, even in the DMs, like he's allowed to present himself to who he is, but in the public eye, it's a different story. And I think people need to understand that. But because
the fact he listened to us make fun of Dan Snyder and him and said it was great. By the way, if you get a chance to hug Dan Snyder, is there like a protocol? Do you go down on a knee or does he get up on a chair?
I tried looking to see where his office was, but everything was happening so fast, man. I didn't know.
Well, supposedly, and we'll get this to the minute, that he's only been in the office 290 some times in the past 17 years, but we'll get to that in a minute.
That's an awful short period of time to pluck up as much as he has.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So really that was it, guys. Like that's what I get. Hey, and listen, there's going to be a lot of other people that are going to get their own experiences too. I especially the fan ambassadors. Like the fan ambassadors are going to have their own experiences and they're not going to be the same. And I think that that's what's cool. And as I was leaving, Jason's like, well, he was kind of like, I could tell he was a little impressed by the fact that I was willing to drive there for a 15-minute interview, and I had to explain to him, like, yeah, but
this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm driving if it's 6 to 8 hours. It doesn't matter to me because not many people get the opportunity to do what I did. So
hugging Jason Wright, that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm telling you, man, that man can hug. Like he just gave a but anyway.
Jesse, have you had a moment like that with somebody in the organization?
No.
How about you, Brandon?
I can't recall.
No. With my mom.
See
We'll take this time. I wanted to welcome to the Bleeding Birdie podcast for the first time Washington football fan Brandon Rinebold. Brandon, thank you. I hope I didn't butcher your last name. Thanks for joining us, man.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, man. How you doing?
Wonderful, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
It's
man.
an honor to be here.
Yeah. Excuse. We're three clowns that love this Washington football team. We can pick on each other sometimes, but we'd like to just have a good time and talk some ball. And Keith has been going on this roller coaster ride for his fandom, this past couple of months, and it's great to kind of live vicariously through him. Through this process, so for Keith to be able to go into the president of the Washington football team's office and all jokes
molest
aside,
him. Basically almost rape him.
He was wearing
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Listen, he was wearing Wolverine socks today. Like that's how cool this dude is. Like
no, he's a cool dude. It is cool. And we're all living vicariously through Keith now. So it's a fun time.
I feel like my house is getting redone.
Even though his, yeah. But
I like to say it this way, Brandon. If you want to listen to everybody else try to pretend like they're a fucking analyst, you can hear that a million places.
Yeah.
Have fun, man. Have fun.
Yeah.
Loosen up. Have fun.
We just try.
We will do our analyzing, but we'll have fun.
That's all. We just like to have fun, and we'll call it like we see it. We're fans. That's pretty much it. We don't claim to be anything more. That's
when you're watching the game on Sunday with your friends, aren't you having fun? Don't you tell some jokes?
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, that's what we do, man. Well, again, congratulations to Keith. His head can only get so much bigger, or Mr. Ambassador. Let's move on. Some big news dropped. The Wall Street Journal. I can't talk. The Wall Street Journal put out an article stating that Tanya Snyder is now the co-CEO of the Washington football team, and the reactions on Twitter is crazy. And it's not only Twitter; it's the media itself too. Brandon, I want to start with you. What was your first initial reaction to the story when it broke?
My first initial reaction was Dan Snyder may be about to be getting suspended for a long period of time, just because of the timing. The timing is what doesn't make sense about this. But that's my first initial reaction was that. But I actually like the move. Looking more into it, and actually the one thing I was unaware of was I always knew that she was around the breast cancer awareness, but I did not know about
she started it.
patch.
I
was unaware of that part, and so I mean, and plus her work goes much beyond more than football. She's well involved in the community, so I mean, it's good for outside of football the aspects, and plus I feel like with her being there, she'll be able to keep things under wrap and hopefully avoid what we just went through.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like you were saying, Tanya Snyder has been doing a lot behind the scenes. Just the Think Pink campaign. I mean, she started that, and she took it from because she had breast cancer, and she went through the whole ordeal, and she wanted to bring something to the team, and it started off with the team, but then she brought it to the whole entire NFL, and the NFL took it by storm and rolled with it. I think I'm with you. The timing of the situation or of the announcement seems kind of fishy. But John, going to you now. What do you think it's funny timing, or what's your feelings on it?
No, I think I'm a resident cynic, and I think this is about money. And I don't mean in terms of like, oh, she's bringing money to the table. I think it's more about how you redistribute debt, how you make yourself look on paper in front of the league. He's got a lot of ways. He's got a lot of debt that he has with the league. Yeah. And I think that this has a lot to do with what they're doing. It's a business move. It has probably zero to do with football. Zero. I swear to God, if she's in the draft room telling people what players to pick, then I'll have a problem unless she can show me that she knows what she's doing. But I think it's simply it's business, simple as that, and that's all I think it is. So people that get ballistic about that kind of thing, you know what? Who knows? Maybe she gave him some the anal the other night, and he was like, "Hey, I'll make you CEO." Up to you, Keith. Now to the ambassador.
Keith, what's your thoughts of the situation?
So I'm like Brandon. I had two initial thoughts. The first thought was, okay, this is a good security blanket in the event if Dan Snyder gets suspended, but I'm here to tell you now that that's probably not going to happen. And people that are still thinking that report's going to get released, that's not going to happen either. So my professional opinion on this is, if there is a suspension, sure, she would be in charge and he would basically be running the business through her, right?
And everybody who suspended him would know it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with when Robert Kraft got suspended. His son
Right.
took
Yeah.
over, and
Right.
Kraft was still in charge.
God damn,
But-
this girl's what, 22? Jesus.
But after I had time to digest, what's going on, let's just be 100% honest here, gentlemen. Women can run things
Oh, yeah.
way
Yeah,
better than
hell
us.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Look at my bio on Twitter.
Yeah.
I put in there, women should be ruling this world, man.
What?
And I have zero qualms about her taking over. If there was
Babies come from their vaginas, like they rule.
Now we're
the
learning
world.
something.
Yeah.
Now we're learning something.
let me
No
write
matter
that down
how
real
much
quick.
we
Hold on a
want it-
second.
Yes, write it down. I'm sure you need to know.
That's right. The
But-
Bleeding Burgundy podcast.
Look, if they can do that, they deserve to rule this world. And listen,
Yeah, so true.
that's personally kind of what I think is, first of all, why not? It's husband and wife, right?
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
you've got to change the face. Dan Snyder, this move to me was almost like, I'm gonna step kind of and let my wife be the face,
And
so to speak.
as he should.
It's a better face.
Yeah, that's for sure.
She actually
and
is very pretty for her.
She is absolutely. What
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hell she sees in that little
For her age.
Well,
What kind of an
don't-
ambassador are you?
Well, I mean,
You got to
for
be
the-
more diplomatic than that.
Well, I can't be, but listen. No, so obviously I agree with what John was saying. I mean, truthfully, at the end of the day, it's a business move, and it's a move that I think is smart, for the organization. And look, everybody's like, oh, we know why they're hiring this person and that person and that person. Doesn't
No,
matter.
you don't. You don't know. They don't know.
No,
They're just
we don't.
yapping off.
We don't know, but I am interested in the whole timing aspect of it. This time of year in the NFL, this is the deadest time. And if any big news was going to drop, this would be a good weekend to do it because it'll get less play on the press. So who knows? I personally, we don't know. We don't know.
But listen, the woman started Think Pink. It's been 22 years.
Oh, sure.
She deserves.
And also on that
She
point,
deserves it.
Whenever Ron or Jason talks, they always say Dan and Tanya now, Mr.
Right.
and Mrs. Snyder now. She has been included, especially more so in this past, since last season. She has been more included in the day-to-day things
Sure.
than ever before.
I personally think because men die first, he's like, here, hon, you can have the team when I die.
I got a big boat. I'm going out here with these cheerleaders. I think in a sense that what we all want as fans is for the CEO group to step back away from the football operation, run the business. We don't want Dan Snyder in the draft room. We never liked it. So if he gets suspended, if what Brandon says is true and he gets suspended, or you didn't imply that, but if what you believe happens, then she will. She's not going to be stepping up there telling Ron Rivera what plays to run.
Obviously not. Obviously
Right.
not.
So it's a good move, and it's a non-move for fans, really.
Did anybody else read that the whole article in the Wall Street Journal? Did anybody read that?
No. Yeah, I mean, you're asking us if we read the Wall Street Journal.
Well, it was all over Twitter. It said that, and people on the radio, they're saying, oh, he hasn't been there in 29 days. No, it was 291 days. He's only been in the office 291 days in the past 17 years or something like that.
You don't have one of these? Look, I'm not in your house, but guess where I am right now? I'm in your fucking house. I'm talking to Brandon. I'm talking to Keith.
I'm saying, how do we think that number's false?
I think it doesn't
291
matter.
in 17 years.
Could be, but again, my favorite saying, at the end of the day, owner can do whatever the hell he wants.
That's true.
And
It's not
listen,
like
is he needed to be at the office to make a crucial decision?
No, we got a telephone.
Right. Remember,
The-
if you see him, don't look at
Go
him.
ahead, Brandon.
So did the NFL kind of make the conclusion on the whole case before the investigation even came to close? Because they approved the sale of the minority owners. Yes, granted, they wanted out anyways.
That's the whole thing. Dan Snyder's not going anywhere, and for people to continue to harp on the fact. Listen, I get it. He's not everybody's cup of tea. He's nobody's cup of tea, but we have to live with
He's
him.
my
This is our
cup of
team.
tea.
Okay.
He's my cup of tea. You know
Well,
why?
Make sure you give him a big old hug next
I
time
mean,
you see
he's
him.
one of the
I'll
biggest
never see him.
Washington fans ever.
Exactly.
So, I mean, like that,
Exactly.
I do see it.
And that's the thing. That's why he's my cup of tea. You know why? Because he still cares about that logo, whether people think it or not, or whatever the case may be. But behind the scenes, that logo still exists.
Oh yeah,
and it's going to still exist. And you know, it is what it is. Like, I know people are going to disagree with me, like, oh, he makes draft picks. Oh, he did this to the. Stop it.
He bought expired beer to sell to fans in the stadium. I'm never going to give this guy a pass.
I know you don't
doing
like
the right things. He's doing the right things now, but for the last 20 years, I'm looking at him like this.
Yeah, I'm mad because he changed the name. Let's move on. I'm still mad at him.
I just want to make this last point. It's like, look, he's not going nowhere, so you guys got to learn to deal with it.
I think we care. I don't understand why we care so much. Why do we care that?
Because he gets in the way. Oh, because of her?
Right. Yeah, but like, what? Going back to that news, like, why does it matter? Like, I remember years ago, like, it doesn't. It's not really like it doesn't affect the product on the field. I don't know. Like, I just don't know why this news is so necessary for us to even care about.
Jack Kent Cooke had a Brazilian trophy wife that was unbelievably gorgeous. She was about 40 years his junior. And one night she got drunk and ended up driving down M Street in Georgetown with her boyfriend hanging off the hood of the car. Stop. So, yeah, we didn't care then. We didn't know then. We didn't want to know. People want to know everything. And because of social media, they think that everybody thinks they fucking with their opinion. It matters. It matters. Let me tell you what I think. Fuck what you fucking think. Who gives a fuck what you think?
All right, we'll end on that note.
Next
let's
one.
Moving on.
He's out of there like the cheerleaders.
We're gonna move on to our weekly team breakdown, and this week is going to be the offensive line. And as far as camp battles go, I think this is going to be one of the more interesting ones on the team. You know, Leno is probably going to be our left tackle. Who's going to play right? Who's going to play left guard? You know, we got Leno, we have Flowers, Schweitzer. Roulier is going to be our center. Brandon's going to be our right guard. Who's going to play right tackle? You have Lucas. Cosme. I think there's going to be some good battles going on in camp. John, I want to start with you this time.
Go ahead.
The offensive line and beforehand, Pro Football Network just gave their rankings of the top offensive line in the league, and we ranked number 3. I was actually shocked when I saw that. I figured we'd be more towards the middle of the pack. John, what do you think about that?
I think that's an idiotic thing to say. I think there's nothing that this offensive line has shown you to be able to make a prediction that say they're better than 28. 28, right? Oh my God. Yeah. Other teams in the league. They're better. You're not 29. Thank you. Whatever. They're not. Well, if they're third, they shouldn't. Okay, there's no way. Yeah. There's no way that they're third if you look at this line. I think part of the time when Pro Football Focus does something like that about especially us that's so fucking far out and what the hell was that? It's because they know our fan base is freaking rabid clickbait eating fools that will spread it all over the place. So I don't put too much stock in that whatsoever, especially when we're looking at journeyman at left tackle. Frankly, I think I'm looking at it and they've got Eric Flowers listed as a tackle. And no, we saw what happened when Eric Flowers was a tackle, right? He let the fucking Titanic get sunk. Well, he did. That iceberg.
Yeah.
That iceberg was his goddamn responsibility. So he proved here he plays left guard extremely well. Put him there, leave him there, and that's the end of it. As far as I'm concerned. Roulier's got his spot nailed down. Scherf does as well. And I'd like to see Cosme start at right tackle. Why wait?
Yeah, we brought Lucas in as a swing tackle. Yes, he played very well last year, but I think it could only be a good thing if Cosme winds up starting this year. The one thing about it is we have some extremely good depth. We probably have the best depth in the league as far as I'm concerned. Keith, what do you think about this O-line situation?
I don't care.
Not one bit. You don't care who starts. You don't care if Fitzpatrick gets crushed or not.
I don't care. We know who's going to start. Everything's going to be fine. Like, I just don't care. Like, no offense, O-line guys and dads who follow me on Twitter who support their O-line kids. I just don't care. I'm so exhausted. Like, no offense to you either, Jesse. I know that this is a tough time of year, but this is just a subject that we know who's going to start. Things are going to be fine, hopefully. And let's just get going. I'm just make the team and let's go.
All right, fair enough.
Coming up.
Brandon, what do you think about this O-line situation?
The third is we shouldn't be third. We finished sixth last year, but I mean, probably outside of top five, maybe the same. But we have one of the best O-line coaches in the NFL.
That is true.
What he was able to do with our O-line last year, I feel we did upgrade, yes, but it also all depends on how well the practice correlates to game days. So I mean, we do have they say the best O-line coach in the NFL. So I mean, Keith was out there. I mean, we basically know who's going to be starting on the O-line. I mean, I feel Cosme will probably beat out Lucas because Lucas was more of a swing tackle and he played better at left versus right. So I feel maybe outside of top five.
Okay, fair enough.
See, I was going to say the same thing.
Shut up.
Same exact thing that he was going to say. So that would have ruined him. That's why I said I didn't care.
This is an ambassador.
Twitter.
Thank you.
I went to Twitter and I put out the question. I said, since PFN ranked us number 3, I asked, how comfortable are we with the offensive line? And we had a lot of responses, and most people are feeling comfortable. Like Ben DeSantis, very comfortable. He likes the players in the depth. Find the right mix is going to be a major strength. Let's see. Skins fan 3, comfortable with the entire team except for quarterback and our fan ambassadors. I don't know why I put that in there. Rob Tubman, relatively comfortable. Feels like they are building a decent depth. Well, unlike years past when starters got hurt. And like we've said before, remember when Kirk Cousins was meeting the offensive lineman that came off the street for the first time in the huddle.
Stop giving that man excuses. Stop it.
Kirk Cousins is your favorite player in the NFL. Stop.
You're giving him excues because they took him off the street.
Cousins, he did improve majorly though, from his rookie year to the next. For his interception ratio, he improved majorly. But it's not like he didn't really have the excuse though at the end of the day because our offense wasn't that bad. But that's a whole different story.
He had his days where he shit the bed, and he had days where he really, really showed that, hey, this is why people really want to keep him. I don't see where we lost anything. So we lost a couple of years maybe, but I don't think we'd have won a Super Bowl with him. The Vikings have had a better roster. They didn't won shit with him.
We lost a lot of money too, though.
Keith loves talking about Kirk Cousins.
He had his day where he was really, really good. Shut up, John.
Shelly.
Mr. Ambassador.
Shelly at Shells81. We all know her from the DC Tweet Team podcast. She says that we have depth, but that's all we really know. We really don't know who will be starting and where, and that makes her uncomfortable. We need chemistry with the line and the QB, and it needs to get started ASAP. There was quite a few people that are not very comfortable with the line too, and I get it because there is some unknowns. I don't think we're going to have a dominant O-line. I don't think we're going to be bullying people around. I mean, we have some solid pieces though. We know Roulier and Sheriff are going to lock down their parts. That's Roulier just got a contract extension. And I think he's very, very underrated as a center. John, do you have any issues with this O line? Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it. I mean, like I said, third's ridiculous. We do have some journeymen. We got to see what they're able to do, and it's not like they're blue chippers. I am comfortable, like you said, like with Sheriff. Sheriff's got his job locked down, but the dude does miss time.
That's
if
true.
he misses time, I'm very comfortable with Wes Schweitzer coming in. I'm real comfortable with that dude coming in. He can pick up a pickup truck and throw it at people. I'm happy with that. So I do like the depth. I do like Ryan Fitzpatrick has the savvy and the experience that it's not going to take a whole lot of chemistry building behind this line. There's nothing you can throw at this guy he hasn't seen. There's nothing you can. He's seen it all.
Yeah,
he'll tell them where to be. Here's what you need to do. So yeah, I'm good.
James Daffrin said he is concerned. Moses' release concerns him very much. And he also said it takes at least 1 year for a line to gel. Then he says, quote, please prove me wrong. I've been a solid fan for over 60 years.
You're wrong.
I think lines, I think it all has to do with coaching. Yeah, it does take time for a line to gel, but that's what training camp's for. As you saw last year, it was kind of a piece together line last year, and with Schweitzer,
they were
and
sixth,
with Lucas,
right?
Yeah, and I think we did perfectly fine.
Brandon made the point. It's about coaching.
Yeah, but for the most part, a lot of people, they said that they like the depth, and that's a good thing. I think there's going to be a lineman or two that we're not expecting to get cut, this offseason. But yeah, that's our offensive line breakdown, guys. We're going to move on now. Another question that I put out to Twitter was about the national media. And we're kind of, years past, we got pretty much crapped on, never given a chance, and
deservedly
so. Yeah, absolutely. But now the tides have turned a little bit, and especially for the defense. So after years of getting crapped on, it seems like we're getting a lot of attention from the national media, especially for the defense. And I asked the question, how do you feel about this? Would you rather fly under the radar? Brandon, I'll start with you. What do you think about this national attention with the media that we're getting for our football team? How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's about time. It's about I feel it's the perfect time too, with our defense and with how well we came together as the whole team last year. But it's all about whether we can live up to it. And we'll see with the season coming up. Because
it looks good on paper. It looks good on paper.
It looks good on paper, but when we have the games against the Chiefs, or we have a first place schedule. So I mean, it's going to be tough. I feel maybe 10, 11 wins, but I mean, it's just all about whether we meet the expectations. And I feel providing if we can stay healthy, no injuries. That's what I feel that it will come down to the most, is whether we can actually meet that expectation.
Keith, what do you think about this national attention that we're getting?
I love it. I love it. Listen, we got national attention back in 2012 when RG3 was lighting up that year. We got national attention when that other fake guy that you guys talk about got us to the
Cousins.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
We got national attention then. This is different to me. And this is more national attention to me on the defensive side of the ball. So I want that same attention that the Ravens got for their defense.
Oh.
I want to know that I want that defense. For years I used to be so focused on, we need to have an elite quarterback. We got to have quarterback's going to do it. Now you look at the history, defense still wins championships, in my opinion. Of course you got to score points to get there too, but listen, the way these guys played last year, especially towards the end of the season, these young kids are hungry, man, and I'm going to stand behind them. This funny thing is one of the questions got asked to me in the interview is, who's your favorite current player? I didn't really have an answer. I could go the easy route, and I did say, well, Chase Young, possibly, Terry McLaurin, possibly, but these guys are so young. They haven't been here enough to establish for me to say, hey, you're my favorite player, but damn it, I love what they're doing. And I love the fact that they're young. So absolutely keep talking about this team. And eventually when they get their new name and we continue to push upwards, which that's the direction that I see that we're going. And listen, again, I hate to bring this up, but talking with Jason Wright, he's like, listen, there's going to be bumps this year.
Sure.
There's going to be bumps next year. He's like, it really depends. And he said the exact words that we were talking about earlier. It depends on coaching. How does your coach bounce back from that? How does your coach see where the problem is and how does he try to resolve it? We got the kind of coach that can do that. So truthfully, I do see us, and that's why it may look like I'm turning into a rah-rah fan. Listen, I told y'all, we start winning.
Rah-rah Keith.
Rah-rah Keith. I've always said, we start winning, I'll shut up, right? Because truthfully, that's what we all want. We all want them to win, and we all want me to shut up. So it all makes sense, So
your meltdowns are a little fun sometimes, though.
Yeah, exactly. So, but give it, bring it, because listen, these guys are going to love the hype of it. And I think that these guys are going to feed off of that on the field. We're also in a day and age where you're not only getting hyped on TV, you're also getting hyped on social media. If you don't think that these young kids are reading that and seeing what folks are saying, absolutely they do. So now you got us talking on TV too, right? You got the media talking on TV. They're just going to feed off of that because truthfully, at that age, and I shouldn't even say that age because I'm the same way.
This generation.
Correct.
Their generation.
They love that attention and they're going to feed off of it. So keep on talking about us.
Yep. I tell you what, when it comes to the success or failure, injuries are probably the biggest factor going down the line. They'll make or break you. Look what happened in the Super Bowl, right? It was a great matchup. I mean, granted, good for the Chiefs to get there, but by the time they got there, their offensive line was so beat up, there was nothing they could do, literally nothing they could do to try to win that football game. So, they can talk all they want in the preseason, in the off season, it means nothing. I was telling you guys, because once again, I'm old. Brandon, do you remember the Gibbs days?
The second one, the second coaching tenure.
In 1991. Okay.
1 year old.
All right. I was I was damn near 30. In 1991, I mean, we were favored to win everything, right? And as it turns out, they're ranked now as one of the best teams ever, that 1991 team. And Steve Buckhantz, you can find this on YouTube. Steve Buckhantz gets a hold of Joe Gibbs after like the third or fourth preseason game, which we got blown out of, right? I think so. Yeah, no, we had a crappy preseason.
Gibbs didn't care about winning preseason games, that's for sure.
He did. We had a bad preseason that year. I think we didn't even win a game. But Buckhantz got hold of Joe Gibbs in the locker room after the last game and said, well, you guys are favored to win everything. And hey, let me stop you right there. We ain't favored to win. Have you seen this team playing out there? Have you seen us play? We are not using our brains. We are not. And he reads Buckhantz the riot act about how nobody should have expectations for this team. And a week later, they go out and 45-0, they beat the Lions, and they don't stop until they whoop Buffalo in the Super Bowl. So, preseason talk, it doesn't really mean a thing. But sometimes it's correct. And I think with this defense, it is correct. And I don't think it's hype. I think it's they see how this team played, especially once they got it like past the Lions game last year. Once the Lions game ended, that team, they flipped the switch and they clamped down everybody. I'm not talking about just everybody saw Chase Young, which everybody saw Chase Young. Everybody saw everybody on that defensive line. You asked about who's your favorite player. You saw him today. Cam Curl's my favorite player, and I don't care how young he is. Anytime I see some guy who's a rookie, 7th-round pick, and he's flashing into my screen, making play after play after play after play, you're goddamn right he's my favorite player. And they went ahead again this year and spent their first-round pick on the one weakness that they thought they had at middle linebacker and improved that speed. They spent they bought the best cornerback in the league, right? So the two areas where anybody saw any weakness with us were shored up severely. They weren't just, put some scotch tape on that shit. They got that stuff right. They've got great coaching. So yeah, I think it's justified, and I think they're going to earn it. Number one.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I don't really care for the attention. To me, I want to see it first. Yeah, they played very well last year down the stretch. But you got to remember, man, the teams they locked down, they weren't very good teams. Maybe say
they weren't very good teams because they were playing us.
They were, except for maybe the Steelers, which we all know how the Steelers season ended. We started the snowball effect. But when I see Dan Orlovsky saying that we're going to be one of the top 4 teams left in the NFC, that I don't care for that. I'd rather fly under the radar and just come out with a bang. We deserve some recognition. We got 2 very, very good edge rushers. We got a very good defense line, all full of first-round picks. I get that, but until I see it consistently, I don't want to be. I don't want to be hyped up. I just want them to go out there because, they haven't proven nothing yet, really. Yeah, we went 7-9. We won the division last year, but we won the division at 7-9, and the division was shit. And it came down to the very last week of the season. I think our schedule, we can get better next year, and we will be better. John, what you said, absolutely 100% right. We got help at linebacker. We still need more help at linebacker in my eyes. I'm sorry, that linebacker room is not complete yet. We traded, not trade. We led Darby Walk. We brought in William Jackson. Some people say that's a push. I think William Jackson's better and will be better. So we could, and it's another year for this team in the system. We could play better, but have worse stats next year, just because of the type of offenses that are playing.
Yeah,
and
sure.
That's what worries me too. We have some high-powered motherfucking offenses coming and playing Washington this year. We're going to get scored on. We're not going to keep every team to 17 points. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. When we have the likes of Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Pat Mahomes coming into town. So we need to have some. We need to.
You forgot Tom Brady.
The brakes and the old.
We've seen that old bastard.
So I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit, just a touch. I'm not saying we're not going to be good, because I think we are. We're going to be. I think we're going to be a top 5 defense. But we have an uphill battle to climb, man. Especially with, like Brandon said, with the schedule that we have. We have a first place schedule, and I think it's just more than a first place schedule. It's a fucking schedule to,
all the best ones are coming.
Yeah,
we got all of them lined right on up.
And players see this. They watch ESPN. They watch NFL networks. They see Good Morning NFL. All of them saying how good Chase Young is, how good this Washington defense is going to be. Well, they're going to want to prove that this defense isn't that good.
Oh, sure.
That's fueling them as well too. So that does worry me a little bit. I'd rather fly under the radar some.
I think that this is a fan thing. Under the radar is for fans, but I guarantee you, every one of those teams that are on our schedule, none of those great quarterbacks looked at us and went, that'll be easy. Every one of them circled it and said, all right, give me my offensive line. We're going to need to really fucking work hard. All right, protect my ass. They know who we are. Even if we don't have a name, they know who we are.
We're the team.
Yeah. Some of the comments on Twitter, call 1-800-FEAR says, I think the defense is getting the attention it deserves, and I like that. I'm just hoping that everyone gets caught up in the defense, that they don't see Fitzmagic and company coming on offense. Interesting. J. Ryan Bob says, at least they're not hating on us all the time. Okay, I get that. I'm tired of after years and years of being a doormat, and some still are, like Marcus Spears. I don't know if y'all noticed him, always talking shit, still talking shit on the football team. But, whenever they talk about the NFC East, they would talk about the Cowboys for 10 minutes, the Giants for about 8 minutes, and then the Eagles for like 5 minutes, and they spend like 30 seconds on us. So that used to piss me off too, because I watch a whole fucking hour show trying
That's
to
usually all we earned
on a fucking on the Redskins, and then just get 30 seconds of it. E. Blake says defense wins championships, as an old saying that used to hold water. Kyle Smith for GMs said that I'd like the team to fly under the radar. I'm with you, buddy. I really do. Harry Morgan says it's nice to have the attention on the players. The product Washington football team is putting on the field this year, instead of the old off-field drama, it's nice to have hope that progress will continue. Coach Rivera has worked wonders since arriving. I trust in Ron. He's earned it. What do you think? You think Ron's earned our trust?
Colonel Potter is correct. But see, y'all are young. Y'all don't know who Harry Morgan was.
Keith, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, earning of the full trust, I don't quite think is there yet from everyone, but I think for the most part, people like what they've seen so far. There are some crazies out there that, are questioning, some of these moves that have been made, which
some people question everything.
They do. And listen, I don't question as much anymore because I've learned that I'm stupid when it comes to football and I don't really know that much.
Oh,
you don't care about the offensive line. We heard that.
I'm stupid. Like, I don't really know that much. I only know
shit.
Look, you're supposed to wear a top hat, a monocle, and look good at functions.
Listen,
Ambassador.
That's it.
Listen,
that's your job. That's your job.
Right. Like, I don't get paid. I don't get paid on this podcast to give analytics. So screw y'all. I don't care what y'all think. Okay. How about
Mr.
that?
Ambassador?
So, I think people read too much into things, but I do think that we're in the right direction. I think that 99.9% of the fan base loves Ron Rivera, and I think that we're gonna really base our love after this season, especially now that we're playing these competitive teams. We're gonna know where we stand as a team by playing the Packers, by playing the Bucks, by playing the Chiefs. Like, these are games that we want, because these games are they're going to tell us a lot, right?
You don't get there without playing the big boys.
Correct. And look, when I met my girlfriend, now wife at the time, I didn't trust her the first year. I mean, she was 4 years younger. She could be out at the club, while I'm, working, stocking them groceries, and I'd have no idea. But it takes time for us to trust the people that we want in our lives.
Sure.
And so there you go.
Table.
Yeah, Brandon, I'll come to you. Has there been enough time for the fan base to put its trust into Ron Rivera?
What hasn't he done? I can say yes. He's done everything to for us to trust him. I mean, what does he have left to prove? He's already a proven coach. I mean, and especially his first year alone in DC. Everything he went through personally, and then with the football decisions, the culture,
and COVID, the whole changes for COVID,
and,
right?
And if you look at how the culture was, a year ago, or even like right before he took on, when Bruce was famously said the culture is damn good. I mean, it's a major difference. He got rid of the tennis table. It's probably why Morgan Moses got released. But no shit at him. I still don't. I like the move of releasing Morgan Moses, by the way. But I do trust Ron and his choices and the football aspect and the direction we are going. I definitely trust it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I don't think to me, he hasn't made a move that's head scratching yet, and a lot of people were, I saw about the Moses move. I see it. I understand. A lot of people were upset, Danny Rulia, about Ryan Kerrigan getting released. I totally get it. You know, to me, I think he hasn't done anything for me for the trust to waver in my eyes. Moving on to the comments, Disco says, I think it's great. I don't want to fly under the radar. I want our team acknowledged for the talent that it has. I no longer want to be disrespected. Having said that, I don't want to be overhyped either. Good point. I just want a fair assessment. And yeah, I think everything he said makes sense. Not being overhyped. That's what I'm worried about is getting overhyped. It is.
It's a challenge. They've been challenged to live up to an expectation. And I think that they're capable. Now, whether they end the year number one, and I sound like a fool or anything like that, challenges is what I think Ron's whole culture change is all about. We've been saying it. All we see all across this field is good competition at practically every position with good, solid, young, talented, and smart players. So, yeah, they'll rise to it.
Yeah,
I think so.
Michael said a change was needed in Washington. That all starts with the hire of Ron Rivera. From that point on, it has progressed into what we are now. Not just the defense, but the offense as well. Youth and speed with crafty vet or a kid could take this team to new heights. Only time will tell. So true. Brad Orme, I think Brad Orme says, I like the attention. I think folks in the media have seen the changes starting from the front office and going throughout the organization to build a serious contending fill roster squad, whatever that means. I don't think Rivera will let anyone take positive attention to mean the work is done. That's true. The work has to be constant. You can't not be, you can't just settle on what you are now. You have to continue to work, continue to get better, and to continue to grow. And even with the moves on offense this year, Ron has his sights set on building this team. And I hate using this word, but the right way. We did not get our quarterback this year. Get it. But he got the best that we could. We went after one. A lot of people were upset that we didn't go try to move up in the draft in Justin Fields. I don't want to give assets away with a quarterback that my coach, a quarterback that my coaching staff isn't 100% sure on. Say next year, one of the, the name that's been floating out right there now is Spencer Rattler. If they want to move up and give away two number ones, I'm going to be comfortable with that because they feel that that's their guy. I don't want to put their a whole bunch of bread in a basket and just for a guy that they're only 85% sure about.
Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, jeez. I think that was Danny Boy's thoughts too.
Exactly. Right.
Keith, do you have a Keith's Corner this week? No Keith's Corner this week. Okay. All right. You thought about that for a second.
I do.
You do have a Keith's Corner this week.
Yeah.
I hope it includes something about getting some WD-40 for Jesse's chair.
Oh. Isn't that bad? All right. I'll get some for next week. All right. Now we'll come
to the squeaking all episode.
The segment of the show that we all love. Keith's Corner, where Keith has a microphone. We have zero clue what he's about to say. I'm not sure if he knows what he's about to say, but the mic is yours, my friend.
What I need is for people that listen to this podcast. Maybe it's my cousin and, Brandon's family and maybe John. I don't even think John listens. Jokes aside, I need people to stop telling me, oh, don't change because you're a hog farmer now. Don't change. Don't let the fan ambassador get to your head. Shut up. I'm the leader of the fan ambassador. I'm supposed to have a big ego. And I have a big ego because you know who I kicked it with today? I kicked it with team president, mother effing Jason Wright. That's right. Don't let your ego get to you. It has gotten to me because I'm a leader. That's what leaders do, right?
Mr. Ambassador.
That's right. Leaders lead by bragging and getting a big ego. So to all of you out there, shut up.
That's
done.
right. That's very good. I think I agree with just about every bit of that. Remember when you were in high school and you drank like 10 beers one night and dudes went, dude, don't change, man. Don't change. Be the same little shithead you are when you're 17.
Yeah. Okay, so that was fan ambassador Keith talking. All right. So now Hog Farmer Keith has a Keith's Corner. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, I can't wait for this season. It's gonna be fantastic. I am definitely burgundy and gold until I'm dead and cold. I will support this team even if we lose. You know why? Because I love my Washington football team. Love you, Chris, Jeff, Joe. I'm done.
And there you have it. There's the double corner.
Amazing.
KJ.
Put a shout out to their website so people could go donate. There's a lot of people that they're supporting right now.
Yeah, definitely. The Hog Farmers charitable organization is freaking awesome.
Crazy, man. Behind the scenes, I'm sending out referrals, and I'm telling you, they're gaining 2 to 3 kids a day. You know, a couple days it'll slow, for a day or two it'll slow down, and then boom, we just get 3 kid referrals. And it's my job to reach out to the parents, kind of get them started on the Facebook Messenger app, and then from there, all of us join in and we talk to the families, and I'm inputting this information in the system, and then we're constantly talking to these families. Man, there's just so much work to be done. And these guys, just so you know, they had their 5:00 meeting today. They're meeting with the gentleman who I guess I could be wrong when I say this, but I think he invented what's called the Caring Band. And what it is these watches where folks can send messages to these kids, the preloaded messages. It literally takes 2 seconds to download the app. And this is going to be part of the program now. So for folks who are donating, that want to send positive message to these kids, we've tested it with Chris's daughter, Amaya. And man, he said that her face was lighting up every time she was getting a message from someone. So I can't wait to see if this goes down and kind of take this program to a next level. It's gonna be super cool. So hope everything's successful on that end.
I think everybody that listens to the show should go over to hogfarmerscharity.org and take a look at it, man. They do need your help, and this is not just a bunch of guys on Twitter. These are kids with cancer. You can give $1, $2, $25, $50, $100. What's the matter with you? You're fucking cheap. $500 goddamn dollars. No, I'm serious.
No comment.
Like you said, you're bringing in 3 kids at a time. That's a lot of support that's necessary. All right. So support them. They're doing their best to do the right thing and help them do it.
Absolutely.
Hogfarmerscharity.org.
Hogfarmerscharity.org.
Buy a $30 shirt. Buy a $30, donate $30 and get a medically equipped shirt donated to the kids that are joining the Hog Farmer family. That's the way I see it.
Do it.
It comes with syringes, right? That what a medically equipped shirt here is. Just you get this and you get some syringes. Here you go.
My God, John.
So
John,
they know I'm kidding.
John, I know. Well, listen, they talked to me and they're like, "Hey, we really like that John guy." Well, I don't know about now.
Yeah, they do. Chris has a great sense of humor. I know that.
Yeah. Brandon, where are you from? The DMV area?
No, sir. Pennsylvania.
Okay.
All right. Not too far from me then.
Yeah. You're neighbors with
I was picking up
Keith there.
That's probably northwestern Pennsylvania.
From the New York border.
Okay.
Close to Elmira.
So you live in Giant country, don't you? Yep. Either Giant or Philly country.
He's close to Giant. He's close to Giant country, but it's still Philly there, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Philly is about 3-4 hours.
What made you become a Redskins / Washington football team fan?
My father. My father passed away back in '95, but one of the only things I know about him is that he was a Redskins fan. So ever since the day I could remember, always been a fan because of my father.
That's great.
Cool.
You know, it's funny
It's one of the
how
few
how
things
that
that
works.
keeps me calm.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like a lot of time. I mean, our team's been bad for a very long time, you know, and when we talk to, when I talk to younger fans, I kind of wonder, like, how did you pick the team? Did you pick the team? But because they've just sucked. I mean, we haven't won nothing. I mean, a lot of the fan base hasn't what they weren't around when they won their 3 Super Bowls, you know. But they get it and they drive from the parents. I mean, I got my fandom from my family as well too. So it's still
I
cool
remember
to
watching all the bad. We've only had bad years since I've been watching, but back when we traded Champ Bailey for Clem Portis,
Yeah.
Clem Portis did become one of my favorite running backs.
I was in college
because he
back
went
then.
to the U.
the U.
But I didn't. The U is
Chef's
my
gonna
favorite
get ya.
college football team. But my thing is, why do you trade probably one of the best corner in NFL history? And why do you do that? Why trade away Champ Bailey for anybody?
I'll tell you.
You've seen how that went. Clem Portis, destroyed his shoulder after interception was thrown in a preseason game, and then and he was that year he probably would have became the all-time leading rusher. So I'm a little salty about that, but
What it was Champ Bailey was going to be an unrestricted free agent. Period. He was leaving, and he made it no bones about it that he was leaving. He had a different defensive coordinator every time he was here, and there's rumors that he was screwing around with some girl, and his wife basically told him to get out of town. But our option at that point was get nothing or try to make a deal. The problem I had with the trade was the second round pick that we threw in. But what we got back, shit, man, he became our second leading rusher. You know, that's not small potatoes. So I'm not too salty about it. But I mean, I can understand why you would be, but that was why it happened, because he was leaving regardless.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and you got to remember Portis's very first touch as a Redskin.
Oh, yes, 67 yards for a touchdown.
That was against
You
Tampa.
You mentioned his shoulder. You remember the blocks he would throw in the backfield? He would stone brutal. Those linebackers. Yeah. He'd drop them in their tracks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, who was that?
Watch, though?
Yeah, who was that linebacker from Tampa that came in on a blitz? And I mean, he just shoulder shivered this dude into unconsciousness. Boom.
Yeah, no, he was. The trade was not equal, obviously, but we didn't get nothing out of it like we've had in the past. Keith, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to ask Brandon. So, Brandon, since you're out there in PA, do you get to games often? Have you attended any?
I've actually never attended a game. I was hoping to attend one this year. The only game I've ever been to was a Rangers game playing when I lived in Texas. They were playing the Kansas City Royals. I ended up falling asleep due to how boring it was, and I noticed when my Budweiser dropped in and hit the ground. Luckily, it did not spill, so I got lucky on that. But I do want to go to a game, though. I was going to try to catch one of the first weeks, maybe the Saints game or the Giants.
It's a fun time. Well, speaking of that, I'm going to throw this out there. We talked a little bit last week. We are going to give away 2 tickets to the Ravens versus Washington at FedEx Field, parking pass included. All y'all have to do
preseason game
is it's the preseason game. I think it's week 2, second week, I believe. All you guys have to do is DM either myself, Keith, or John and tell us why you're a fan. We're going to take a look at them, as long as they're not dirty or nasty or just dumb. We are going to pick one of them. Maybe we'll pick our favorite ones, like 5 of them, put them in a hat, have Mr. Ambassador pick one from a hat. But
he has to have a top hat.
Yeah, we're going to have to give him a top hat and a monocle.
And a monocle.
we're going to give away those tickets. And I got to tell you, they're good tickets. They're bottom bowl, 11th row tickets. So it's not nothing to scoff at. It's no nosebleed seats. They're excellent seats. So shoot us a DM, and within probably 2 or 3 weeks, we'll make the drawing.
And Brandon, Brandon, just to let you know too, one of the reasons why I invited you to the show was because you had reached out to me a few months ago, and, talking to me in the DMs, man, you're one of the most sincere people that I've ever come across on social media. And, you shared your story with me about your dad, and, of course, we all have some relation, to that. I really appreciate you opening a part of your life to me, someone that you've never met before, and, was vulnerable and kind of just shared your life story. And knowing now that you have never been to a game, it's going to be my mission this year to get you to one. So I'm going to try to do the best I can to make that happen for you, because I do think that, this would definitely
every fan should have a opportunity to go to a game.
100%. And if there's a way that I can, get you there, I'm definitely going to work hard in doing it. And really, at the end of the day, it's because I know that you're a good person, man. And I want you to get there and get to experience what we've, have gotten to experience, man, because it's one of the coolest things that you can ever do in your life. So I'm going to work on that for you. We're going to make it happen.
And that means
That would be great.
I was honored to be able to come on. And I started the Twitter thing a few months ago. I used to just do Bleacher Report. Just for I got out of social media for a couple years. I was homeless, so I did that for a couple years. It wasn't fun. But then I was bored a couple months back, and I ended up deciding to make a Twitter strictly for football. One of the first people I came in contact was Manny, then Daniel Kelly. I actually had an interaction with him, which was very special.
Cool.
And then, so I got to meet a lot of people. I get to learn from, the best who have done it, and who still do it. So I'm
cool.
Extremely honored.
It's awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm definitely glad that you got to come on tonight. And like I said, man, I'm gonna work on getting you to a game this year. I think that it's something that you need to experience.
Speaking just for myself, you should be honored. All right, nobody knows when the fuck I'm joking. Everybody's like, what did he say?
What a dick.
All right.
Brandon, tell all of our listeners where they can find you on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
Twitter handle Meest ST21.
And what you're at?
That's the Meest.
That's your at too. Okay. All right. Everybody, look him up and go follow Brandon. That's going to be all the time we have for this evening. Until next week. You can catch Keith at KG Skins 26, John at Bang Radio Hour, and myself at Jesse's 24. That's JESSYS 24. And we'll see you next week. Hail.
Peace.
To the team.
Hail. Good stuff.
Boom.